Hello again and welcome to the PM Talk Show. This is Pat Marsh, your host. We're glad to be back with my audience. Many know that I've had a light stroke, but God is able and I'm doing well now, thanks to Him. And thank all of you for all of your prayers. We're still doing programs that are knowledgeable to the audience and give you information that you would want to know to help get that information out to young people or whomever is watching the program. And today we have with us a special guest, Dr. And I may sound a little slow, but believe me, I'm with you. Dr. Kay Williams, she's an executive educational consultant, and she will be working with the Tangipahoa African American Heritage Museum on the STEM program that was born out of a need last year. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Great,
Thanks.
great. We're glad to have you here, and we're very excited to see that STEM is continuing, science, technology, engineering, and math, for the kids of the Hammond and surrounding areas. So since we're so excited about what's going on, and I was excited when it first began and more excited to know that it's still going on and more kids are wanting to become engaged in it, let's start by asking that you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you hail from.
Okay, I was born in Hammond, Independence, at the hospital there, and I'm from Hammond, Louisiana. I grew up here, went to all of the public schools here, and went to Xavier and my first degree. And then I continued with my education and stayed in the education field. Okay.
And now what are you doing? I know you traveled overseas a lot, and you're here.
Yes, I have traveled abroad. I spent about almost 5 years in the Middle East. Okay. Working with the Education Council there on establishing a reform initiative to help children to learn English. Okay. And so the goal was for children to be biliterate. So the children there are learning English and Arabic.
Okay, great. Great. And I understand that your brother, Mr. Aaron Williams, he's retired from the United States Army, and he's the founder and the coordinator for STEM.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He called me last year when I was overseas, and he was telling me about what he was trying to do for the children in Tangipahoa Parish. And I was really very proud of him. And I was like, you know about STEM? Because usually that's an educator's term and not a military term. And so he says, yeah, I'm trying to put something together for the children to teach them about science and technology, engineering and math. And Kay, guess what? We're going to do flight training school because he's a pilot.
Okay.
And so,
I didn't know that.
Yes, he's a pilot and he loves
State
flying.
trooper too.
And he's a state trooper and he's a businessman and now he's a STEM founder. And so part of that training is flight training.
Okay, okay. I know you weren't here last year, but the program started last summer. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And there was my understanding is that there was a very good turnout for the kids and a high interest. Do you see that coming back this summer?
We're projecting that we'll have more children, and we're seeking more sponsors because we don't want to leave any child out. So we're looking for local businesses and sponsors to help us make sure every child that wants to be in the program has an opportunity to be in the program.
Okay, when you talk about where it's going to be, why was the African American Heritage Center the center that was chosen to host this?
Because the TAM is what we affectionately call it, is in the community, and we're working with children of the community and of the parish. And so we just thought it was integral to include, and the TAM Center is a school, it's an old school, as you're aware, it's Mooney Avenue School. And Aaron attended Southeastern, but I attended Mooney Avenue School. Okay. And so it's part of our background. Now. Yes, that's the site of TAM now, and it's a part of my background, my brother's background. And I have another brother that went to Mooney Avenue also.
Okay.
So we just thought it was important to include a community center in this program, to sponsor this program. And so far it's been a really good decision.
Okay, well that's good to hear. When you look at some of the programs that you will be implementing this summer, what are some of them?
Well, the children will be involved in, for example, last year they were building computers from scratch.
Okay.
And of course, I mentioned the most popular module was the flight training.
Okay.
Some of the children had never been in an airplane before.
Okay.
And so they're not just in the airplane, they're actually flying the airplane with the captain.
Okay.
So they're co-piloting, but they do get a chance to experience how it feels to fly an airplane.
Okay.
They were very, very excited about that. So this year we would like to include more science and more engineering. Some form of robotics, and just to really, really give the children an experience they will never forget. And you'll notice in the brochure that there are 4 programs that we're offering.
Okay, what are they?
The first module is the flight training, and then we have the remote control, building computers, and access and science skills.
Okay. Introduction to robotics. I have a grandson that's interested in computers and robotics and things like that. And do they make modules, I guess I'm saying it right, of the type of robotic they will be doing to see if it really will work or will not work, or what it takes?
Currently we're writing the curriculum for that, along with some other engineers, because my brother's also an engineer. That's what his degree is in. Okay. And so we're also working with other engineers to write a specific program for robotics, so that children have access to building robotics. And I know it's my hope that we can even do a little Lego robotics. And I know people are familiar with Legos. Okay. Yeah. And it's really, really progressed since when we were little, or when my child was little playing with them. It's really, they're adding the electronics part of it. It's really, really a neat thing. I think the kids would enjoy.
Do you have any participators from Southeastern or from other universities in the area?
Last year, from my recollection, there were 2, I believe, from Southeastern who were in the initial process of it, and we're trying to coordinate or collaborate with the universities. We're even talking to NASA this year to try to find more resources that are available for the children. So we really are trying to pull in the universities, including LSU, any of the universities that are trying to promote STEM or offer STEM programs. Another thing is at Hammond High. There's a robotics team that I've heard that they're doing really well. And so we would like to reach out to the sponsor of that program. And we would also like to reach out to the schools to let them know that we are running a STEM camp this summer. The camp is from June 1st to July 6th. Okay. And we can give the number and everything later, but we do want the schools to know that there's an opportunity for the children to be involved in science, technology, engineering, and math camp this summer. Okay. When you look at things, you mentioned the robotics program at Hammond High, and I think that's an excellent source for the month that you'll be doing it. Has anybody reached out to the administration of Tangipahoa Parish Schools to find out if they will have kids participating in not only robotics, but any programs that stem from STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, that maybe kids would want to come during the summer to participate in? Or maybe I know, and this is a hard-pressed question, because summertime is a time for vacations and what have you. And a lot of people will have all 9 months, and I need a break, and I understand that.
But if there are any volunteers out there that would want to come aboard to help do this for the month and maybe carry it on to some of the courses or information that they're already doing in school, how do you feel about that?
I think that's an excellent idea. One of the things that we're working on currently is with the school system. So we're getting ready to distribute mass flyers to all of the schools. And the STEM camp is for grades 6 through 12.
Okay.
And hopefully, if we can continue our momentum, we will have even elementary STEM next year.
Okay, great.
But for now, it's grades 6 through 12. And so we're sending out brochures or flyers for the educators so that they can pass out to the children, and with numbers where they can call and get more information about STEM.
Yeah. When you look at some of the programs that are currently in our schools, I'm thinking about one in Independence now where there is a welding school. Do you envision maybe branching off into that area at some point?
Well, I would suppose, from what I know about welding, it's a form of engineering and design, so it fits in the STEM program because they have to design their product first, and then they have to build something and put it together, weld it together. Okay. I think it's a science, and I'm not sure of the curriculum part of welding, but as long as it's a science, it's something that could be viable. The other thing is that from some of the conversations that I've had is that Tangipahoa Hope Parish is looking to open STEM schools, and to have a focus on producing some STEM schools, and so I'm looking forward to that and having that discussion. That will be a great thing for our children. Okay,
well, we're getting ready to go to a break now, and following the break, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. Our contestants reached the final round, where he's faced with 3 difficult choices. Behind curtain number 1, more alcohol than your body could ever survive. Behind curtain number 2, dangerous, mind-altering drugs. And behind curtain number 3, we have your family, your friends, and your self-respect. All right, Luke, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Luke. Come on, Luke. 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 You want another beer?
Welcome back to the PM Talk Show. I'm Pat Morris, your host, and we have with us today Dr. Kay Williams, who is an executive educational consultant, and she will be working with the Summer STEM program from TAM, the African American Heritage Museum Center. And we're going to do an even larger program than was done in 2015, which is the birth of the STEM program, at the Heritage Center.
Yes.
Dr. Williams, before we were talking about some of the programs that you're going to do, and when you look at how would you get the public involved in wanting to be a part of this?
Well, anyone who would like to be a part of it can just give the museum a call, and we would welcome anyone who would like to be a part of the STEM program. Currently, we do have volunteers. We have a college student who's going to be a speaker or even maybe teach a class, and her degree is in petroleum engineering. And we have a few other engineers and science and math educators who are going to have an opportunity to speak to the children and have a question and answering session. So anyone who would like to help, just give the museum a call. We would welcome any help you would like to provide.
I notice you have a list of people who are involved in this facet of the program you have, and I'd like to call their names if I could. Mr. Delmas A. Dunn Sr., who is the museum director, Mr. Samuel Paul, who is the treasurer, Ms. Sylvia Hurst, Ms. Melanda McElway, who is the camp director. We also have, of course, yourself, Dr. Kay Williams, your brother, Mr. Aaron Williams, who is the program coordinator and the founder. We're going to add that in there. Mrs. Shauna Seals and Mr. Teran Perry, who is an educational advisor. So you have a list of people who are familiar with what you're going to do and how it's going to positively affect the children. Have you had an opportunity, and I know you're just coming aboard, but have you had an opportunity to talk to any parents about what's getting ready to happen with their kids and how they feel about the program?
Yes. Last year, we had a lot of comments from parents and from the children themselves as far as how fascinated they were about the STEM classes. This year, we're looking at parents who are coming in for the museum to either reserve a place to an event. Okay. And so I'm having conversations with them and the kids, and I'm telling them, and they're like, really? I didn't know about the STEM camp. This is good. Okay. You know, how old do you have to be? We even have parents who have little ones who want them in the program, and we're saying that not yet, we're working on it, but right now it's 6th to 12th grade. So as we see them in the museum coming for tours, we try to reach out to them and share with them the wonderful experiences that children can have.
Okay, you also mentioned that you would be getting flyers out in the community and in the schools. Do you plan to incorporate the churches?
Yes, we're trying to give flyers out to as many of the organizations as we can. Some organizations are directly related to STEM. So some of the business, you know, they can't do their business without a science person, a technology person, an engineering person. Or a math person. So we're reaching out to as many organizations, churches, and community companies as we can. Right.
One thing that I know happened that was good in last year's program, and it was the fact that kids who rebuilt computers, they were able to take them home because a lot of kids did not have computers, and parents had to, of course, provide the internet. But the fact that the kids had a computer that they could do their homework on, or they could do their research on, it meant a lot to a lot of kids. Do you foresee that continuing as a pattern, or what would you need to do with getting community support to keep that going?
Well, the parts of the computers were donated from some community members. So we would hope that, you know, community feels like they would want to help, and then just call and ask to help. So any way anyone would like to help, we welcome your help, and that's how we got the computers. So that was a really good thing for the program.
Okay. When you look at, and I'm thinking about kids who went into some form of pilot training for the first time. What was that like? I know your brother is not here to speak for himself, but I'm pretty sure, and I know now that he's a pilot.
Yes.
So what could that have been? I'll ask it this way. What do you think that could have been like for those kids to experience that? And do you know of any exciting things that the kids shared the first time they went in an airplane?
I think I wasn't there, but I can tell you what was shared because my brother shares it with everyone. He's so excited, and the children are so excited. But I can also share my experience because when my brother started flying, I was very curious about it. And I was like, flying? You mean you're going to fly a real plane? No, really, you're not really going to do that. And he said, yes, I am. And so as he processed through getting his training and his license, his pilot's license and everything. So I got interested, and I signed up to fly also. So I've had a couple of hours of flight training, and it is the most amazing experience you can ever experience. So I kind of know what I'm getting ready to tell you now, how the children felt. The comments generated from, you know, wow, I've never done this before. They had some children who were afraid because they'd never been in the air, but the child that was the most afraid had the best time of it, because it was just a remarkable experience for that child. So I think the children will love that. I think it's a great opportunity for them, especially those who have not had any kind of experience with a plane, but to actually be able to fly one. I think they were really, really excited about that.
Now, the student that I was told, this was his first time, and he was so excited. As a matter of fact, I was told he was afraid to even get on the plane, let alone go up in the air. But when he did, he had a new profound love for it, and now he wants to become a pilot.
Yes, and that is true. And that's pretty much what we want for STEM. We really do want the children to be able to love STEM, because sometimes, you know, science and technology and engineering, mathematics, it's kind of frightening for some kids, and to know exactly what that means in the real world, and that it's nothing to be afraid of, and that you can embrace that, and that's what we want. There has been a study where about 56% of the jobs that are coming out are going to be STEM jobs, and the country in a whole, we don't really have enough children or adults to fill those jobs. So it is really critical that we spend a lot of time, you know, educators, business people, really trying to provide access for children to be involved in STEM type activities.
So, as you said, it would behoove us to get as much training into the kids as is possible, because they are our future. They are our future. And we have to prepare them.
And we do. And the good thing about the STEM camp is that we try to make it really, really fun. So it's connected to what you would actually do in real life. So the classes aren't, you know, methodology or theory. The children get to be hands-on and manipulate the materials and build and create, design. And so we're really, really preparing them for school and for the job force, the workforce.
And when you look at the pictures that's in your brochure of the different facets of the areas that they would be working in, you can see the excitement in their faces, that they're enjoying this. And I think that's a big part. If you get a child's attention, and it's something that they like doing, they will continue to do it throughout life if you give them the opportunity. So it's just one of those good things. So is there anything else that you'd like to share with us that you're planning on doing and making all of this come to full fruition this summer?
Well, yes, we would like everyone to know that the Tangipahoa Parish African American History Museum and Veterans Archives Center is open to anyone who would like to just come and visit the museum. And when you're visiting the museum, ask about STEM and ask about the STEM camp, and we will give you all the information that you need. So we want you to be familiar with the museum and bring family and friends to the museum. We're also encouraging schools to make field trips to the museum, and we're really, really, really hoping that next year we can add elementary STEM.
Yeah, and I'm sure the kids are going to be more interested, because pre-K and early development children, they are very, very curious.
They are.
And they want to know, well, why is this and why is that? Why do you have to do this? But that's how they learn.
And that's exactly how they learn.
That's how they learn. Well, we want to thank you for joining us today, and we want you to know that you will be back towards the beginning to update on what's going on and what the numbers are beginning to look like, so that people can be aware. Well, I'm sure you're going to have a limited amount because of funding, just a limited amount that you can take, and once you do that and let the people know, then we'll start working towards the following year, because I see this as being a program that will continue to be successful.
Well, thank you. We're hoping the same. And
Yeah.
thank you for the invitation. I look forward to being here.
Okay, well, we want to thank you again for joining us, and just add that this is Pat Marsh, your host. Again, we want to thank everyone for your prayers during my illness, but know that all is well. God has this, and that's all I can say about it. We want you to remember that knowledge is powerful, knowledge does matter. Thank you for joining us. Have a great week, and God bless.
God bless.